Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Friday evening yoga. And tonight we are doing all things for the heart chakra, hence the lurid pink and green outfit, as these two colors are associated with that energy center. The heart chakra, of course, is the place in the body where you would expect to find it, the center of the chest, goes through the body from front to back. And it's a lovely energy here, the energy of things like kindness and compassion, patience, tolerance, the ability to change and adapt to new situations, and of course our connection with other people. For more information, look in the description box below the video and you'll get all of the different attributes and other things associated with the heart chakra. So for tonight's practice, you could use 2 blocks or possibly a block and a bolster. And a belt, preferably a yoga belt in which you can make a nice round loop that you could put your arm through, or in this case it's going to be your foot. But if you don't have access to this, a scarf will do, or perhaps a dressing gown belt or a tea towel even, but a belt of some kind. And if you have time to make a little loop in it right now, then you'll save yourself some time later in the class. I'm going to put some of these bits and pieces to one side and we can come into standing up today. Okay, so it is nice to start with a quiet practice, but I find in the evening it's better to start a little bit dynamic and then work down to quietness. So let's take the feet nice and wide apart. Take a little soft knee, a soft bounce in the knee, and then gently twisting from one side to the other. Allow the arms to be heavy and relaxed and loose. The arms and hands are an extension of our heart chakras. And that's why we wrap somebody in our arms when we hug them. We offer them a hand when they need some extra help and support. And our heart chakra is so connected to the hand chakras that we often give somebody a magical touch or a rub or a massage or something of this nature to show our care. So drawing your abdominal muscles inwards and upwards. See if you can allow the front hand to just tap the opposite shoulder in front and tap the back hand along the rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage, possibly slightly higher up if your elbows bend in that way, behind the body. These are just light taps, just somewhere for the hands to fall at the end of your rotation. And whilst you don't have to, if you enjoy it, you can free the feet, turn from one side to the other. And if you want to, you can add a soft bend in the knee as you twist from one side to the other, bouncing in between. And then gently losing your bounce, bringing your feet to steadiness and allowing your body to find its way back to stillness in the center. When you come to stillness, taking a moment to feel the sensations across the body and then drawing your chin towards your chest. Taking a moment to feel that length into the neck and then rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, the chin back towards the chest and the left ear to the left shoulder. Going from side to side, finding your own path, your own way to do this movement so that it feels natural, supported, not too stretchy, not too demanding. And if you want to, and only if it suits you, taking your head in circles, perhaps just slightly narrower circles. So the chin lifts, but the head doesn't go too far back. We do one more in this direction. And if you're circling, going back the opposite way, or continuing to go just from side to side. One more in this direction. Finishing with your chin towards your chest, smiling gently and drawing your head to upright, rolling the shoulders a little. So we're going to do a lot of movement with the upper torso, the chest, the upper back, the arms, the shoulders. I'm going to go the opposite way as well. But if you're looking for some really dynamic limbering of those areas, I would look at the chair videos for this week, because we are going to finish our preparations here and come down to the mat to do some action on the mat. So coming all the way down to take child's pose, and making sure that your child's pose is comfortable. If you want to, you can take the knees apart, or you can keep the knees together. Either way, the feet stay more towards each other, and you can reach the hands out in front of the body. Take the forehead towards the floor if that feels good. And if your forehead doesn't reach to the floor, folding the arms, placing the head on the back of the hands or the arms, or placing a block or bolster underneath the body for additional support. Here, become aware of the space of the heart, both in the front of the body, as it is curled in upon itself, and in the back of the body, where there's a gentle length and spaciousness that we can breathe into. See if you can soften the features of the face and find a deeper breath to move into the back of the body. Moving into that space underneath the arms. Surrendering the weight of the body downward. Softening the features of the face and the jaw. After your next exhalation, reaching your hands as far forward as feels comfortable, and then just gently unwinding yourself up to hands and knees for a little cat-cow pose. So when we work with the heart chakra, what we're really trying to do is soften the space in the front of the body, which tends to be quite closed and rounded, and strengthen the space behind the body, which tends to be a little lax, depending on, of course, what you do in the day. So for cat-cow, supporting your knees with something if you need to, tucking the toes under, we're going to press the body away from the floor to begin with, to create space between the whole of the torso and the floor, particularly between the heart and the floor. Engage the belly and the pelvic floor muscles, and then inhale as you look forward, opening your chest, and exhale, press into the hands to round through the spine, draw the chin to the chest and scoop the belly in. Inhaling forward, opening the chest, looking forward, maybe lifting the chin touch, and exhaling as you round the opposite way. You can keep a little softness in your elbows all of the time. Find your own rhythm of movement with your own rhythm of breath, going backwards and forwards. Just easing your way. Let's do one more. And then here, allowing the weight to come back so you can sit onto your heels or taking a comfortable seated pose. If you need a block underneath your heels for sitting, that's absolutely fine. Give your wrists a little bit of a roll. So thumbs in first, fingers around, rolling through the wrists in both directions. And then extending your fingers and making big gestures as you roll through the wrists, keeping those fingers nice and long and going the opposite way as well. Very good. Super stuff. So we're going to do a posture called threadneedle pose, which is done from the hands and knees. So we'll come back to hands and knees, but this time we're going to move the left hand underneath the head, more towards the center of the body, and then drawing your right elbow up, reach the right hand as high as feels comfortable, really firm in the belly here, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. And then you're going to slide that right hand underneath the body between the left hand and the knees, and try to take the right shoulder and right side of the head to the floor. If you can't do that, if going all the way down feels uncomfortable, then feel free to support the head with a block or with the left forearm if you like. If you're not supporting your head, you can reach your left hand as far over your head on the mat as feels comfortable. So reaching the left forearm forward and the right forearm underneath the body. And take a few deep breaths here. Finding that space of the heart. Maybe one more deep breath in and out. And then sliding your left hand in to provide just a little bit of support to come back to hands and knees. In the center here, we're going to do side cats. So on our hands and knees, bringing the right hip and shoulder towards each other, coming back to the center, still creating that lift under the body, and then left hip and shoulder towards each other. So going side to side, your head can obviously turn from side to side as well. Keeping that lift in the belly muscles and the pelvic floor, and that sense of space between you and the floor. When you're ready, you can come back to the center. We'll move the left hand more to the center of the body, and then move the right hand more to the center of the body, reach the left elbow all the way up, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, feel that openness in the chest, and then sliding the left hand between the right hand and the right knee. Take the left shoulder, left side of the head down to the floor if you can. Support your head if you need to, and then reach your right arm over the head so that it rests down on the floor as well. Here, a little bit of lift from the floor is lovely if it helps you to feel more comfortable in the posture. We want just a touch of control across the belly muscles. You can tuck your toes flat if you prefer. You can tuck the toes under if you like. I prefer mine under. Reaching the hands away from each other to feel that length across the back of the heart particularly, but also that sensation of reaching, opening, embracing with the front of the body. 3 more long, deep breaths. Release out beforehand if you need to. And after your next exhalation, you can slide the right hand in and provide enough support to come back to hands and knees. And here in our hands and knees position, we're going to barrel roll. So we've done cats backwards and forwards and side to side. We're going to put those 2 sets of movements together. So raising the back up towards the ceiling and then over towards the right side, belly towards the floor, over to the left and back to the center, rolling in a circle, a sort of horizontal circle, parallel to the floor. Keeping the elbows just a touch soft, allow your head to be part of the movement. So the neck responds as the spine moves as well. We'll do one more in this direction. And then going the opposite way as well. And really enjoy that sensation of wriggling across the top of the back and the chest, as well as the sides of the body. The shoulders are getting a really nice wriggle here as well. If you've ever seen a cat or a dog stretch after they've been sleeping, perhaps you've seen them make These sorts of movements, these pandiculation, rippling stretches through the body. The next time your body comes to a more neutral spot, just resting here, we're going to take the hips back towards the heels to come into kneeling if you want to, backs of the hands towards each other, and roll the wrists. Very good. And we're going to go the opposite way as well. And then we're going to take Anahata Asana. So in Sanskrit, the name of the heart chakra is Anahata Chakra, and Anahata means unstuck, unbroken, unhurt, which I think is lovely. And this posture is Anahata Asana. It's the melting heart posture. So you can use support for this one, and in fact for some people a block underneath the head is really useful. We are going to start from hands and knees, and we want to leave the hips over the knees and reach the hands as far forward as feels comfortable, and then have a sensation of melting the chest towards the floor. And it doesn't matter where you get to, we're going to press through the hands and round through the back to come back to a more space underneath the body position, and then melt the heart down. And we'll do that 2 more times, rounding, maybe tucking the chin towards the chest a little, and then melting the heart down. Just wriggling to find a bit more room as we do that 1 more time, lifting and then melting. And wherever you get to, allow yourself to rest here. So some people are comfortable with their chin on the floor, but not holding here for a long time. The neck is usually not happy here for extended times. So if you can, forehead to the floor, or if you want to, using underneath. And what can be in any orientation you choose, keeping the hips to the knees or thereabouts and reaching the hands forward. And with the head lifted a bit, perhaps you have that sensation of being able to melt the heart a little closer to the floor, but holding where it feels comfortable for you. Taking some deeper breaths. And then when you're ready, gently rounding through the spine, taking the hands a little closer towards the body as you walk them in. And here, just making any movements that feel good. So maybe a little rolling through the shoulders, just to release. Maybe a shaking out of the wrists as well. Very good. Okay, so we've done our lovely melting heart pose, and you can see why it's associated with the heart chakra, and hopefully you're beginning to feel a bit more open in this heart area. We're going to come into a downward facing dog, just to rest the body in the opposite way, and then come into a lunge pose. So back to the hands and knees, tucking the toes, pressing the chest towards the thighs as you lift the hips high, and keep your knees nice and soft if that's comfortable. You might like to gently wiggle the shoulders from side to side as you lengthen one heel towards the mat and then the other. Taking a little walk through your dog. And from here, if you want to, you can come into hands and knees, or you can simply step the right foot forward to the hands. We're going to leave the left knee down, and then here, pressing into the feet to lift the body into a more upright position. And I find that my clothing, it gets away from me when we do a lot of wriggling, so please excuse me while I just sort everything out there. Okay, so we don't want to have a really lungy position here. We're not looking to sag into the joints. We're looking for support from the legs, and you might need something underneath your knees just to soften them against the floor. If you find that toughy, you can also put the toes flat at the back there. So here, we're pressing the legs down, we're galvanizing the strength of the thighs and the hips by using the buttocks, using the belly muscles as well. And we're going to raise the arms up as we look up. And then let the arms come down to the side. We're going to do this 2 more times, raising the arms up as we look up and releasing the arms down to the side. This time, as you come up, leave the arms up. Catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and then reach the left hand up and then over to the right side. So a little side bend. Firm in the belly and the legs. Come back to the center. Keep hold of that wrist. Reach up and over to the right. Return to center. We'll do 1 more time. Reaching up and over to the right. Return to the center. Separate the hands. Let the elbows come back and down to open the chest. Press into the feet and gently twist to the right. Very nice. Return to the center and twist to the right. Firm in the belly and the buttocks. Return to the center. 1 more time. Twist to the right. Return to the center. We're going to take the right hand behind the right hip. Reach the left hand up as we support the hips, the back, sorry, as we reach back, and then come to an upright position and do it again. So reaching the left hand back to open the chest, press into the feet and coming back to the center. 1 more time, reaching open and return to the center. And then from here, we're reaching the hands down either side of the front foot. We're just going to untuck the back toe a little and lengthen through this right leg, coming into half Hanumanas, half split pose. So here you can wiggle your hips from side to side if you like. This front leg doesn't need to be absolutely straight either. And when you're ready, you can come back to your lunge position. Hands stay down. Untuck the back toe and knee. Step your right foot back into downward facing dog and give yourself a little bit of a wriggle from side to side. Aces. Now here, you might need to just give your ankles a little turn, one and then the other, as you choose. And then when you're ready, you can step forward with the left foot, taking the right knee down to the floor. I'm going to dispense with, hold on. Yes, no, that is the right way around. I'm going to dispense with that jumper because it's gotten all awfully hot all of a sudden. So pressing down into the feet to lift your body upright. We're going to take the arms up, inhaling and releasing down, firm in the belly and the buttocks. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling down. Strong in the legs. Inhaling up, and this time leaving the arms up, catching hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Take a deep breath in as you stretch the right hand up and then over to the left hand side. Inhale back to the center and reach up and over as you exhale. Inhale back to the center 1 more time, reaching up and over as you exhale. Inhale back to the center and exhale as you drop the elbows to the side. We're going to inhale, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, and then exhale as we twist to the left. Inhale as we return to center, strong in the legs. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, returning to the center. Exhale as you twist. Inhale, return to the center. Exhale the arms down to the side. Take the left hand to the back of the left hip. Inhale, reach the right arm up and over to open the chest. Exhale, back to upright. Inhale, opening, firm in the legs and the feet. Exhale to upright, firm in the belly and the buttocks. Inhale, opening. Exhale to upright. And then float the hands down to the floor. Just release your buttock towards your heels. And gently, or the back heel, and gently wiggle from side to side if that feels comfortable, or you can take a little bit more of a lengthen here, more like a half splits pose. Whenever you're ready, you can come back onto your not hands and knees, back into your lunge, free the back leg and step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to take the opportunity to lift the right leg up and give the ankle a little bit of a wriggle. A little bit of rotation whilst pressing the chest towards the thighs, and then release that leg down. Do the same thing on the other side. Nice three-legged dog variation, rolling the ankle both ways, giving yourself a little bit of a paddle. And then from here, in our downward facing dog, we're going to come all the way forward to lay on the tummy, coming down however you would like to. Make a pillow out of your hands, forehead to the back of the hands, toes together, heels apart, and give your hips a little bit of a shimmer. Very good. I'm just checking I've done everything. I wanted this one to be as close to our Friday morning class as possible, but I find it really difficult to teach the same thing every time. So here, soften that space in the front of the body, the front of the heart down. Let it really release into the floor. And let go of some of the effort in the back of the legs, perhaps across the low back, the back of the heart as well. Take a couple of deep breaths. And while we're down here on the floor, we can take Sphinx Pose. So we're going to come up onto the elbows and take the elbows underneath the shoulders, pressing into the forearms, perhaps bringing the legs a little closer together if that works for you. So here, we don't want this to be a relaxed pose. We're not sagging between the shoulders and the shoulders aren't moving forwards. We're pressing down into the forearms, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other and opening that space at the front of the chest forward. If you find this pinching in the low back, press your pubic bone downwards and engage the legs and the buttocks a little bit more. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel that very active pressing of the palms of the hands downwards and that connection between the hands and the heart. When you're ready, you can gently release down. Take a pillow out of your hands, forehead to the back of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, and take another gentle swing of the hips from side to side. When you're ready, we're going to come into a forward bend, but a standing forward bend from here. So this requires a little bit of jiggling. So we're going to come back onto hands and knees. And if you want to, you can take a child's pose or a little stretch of the back there. But if you can, just walk your hands towards you until you come into a little squat over your legs. And here again, if you want to take a little stretch of the back here, you can spend a few moments. And then we're going to do a standing forward bend and just give ourselves a bit of a dangle. So heels come towards the floor. You can keep the knees nice and bent. Keep the chest close to the thighs. If you don't easily hold the floor, then hold elbow to elbow. Allow the back of the neck to be relaxed and long, maybe shaking or turning the head from side to side, nodding the head backwards and forwards just to release any tension there. Still very soft in the knees. If your hands easily reach the floor, turn the backs of the hands to the floor or put the soles of the feet on top of the palms of the hands. Take a few deep breaths. Let go of as much effort as you can. Feel the weight of the arms and the head as a traction across that upper back, upper chest space. When you're ready, if you're standing on your hands, of course, release them. Bend the knees very deeply, scoop the belly in, chin to chest, and round through your spine to come up to standing. As you come upright, if you are dizzy, then bring the hands to the center of the chest, just take the chin forward. And if you don't feel dizzy, breathe in, take the arms out and up, lifting your chin as you look up to the hands and breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Take a moment just to stand in a neutral spot and allow all of your bits and pieces to get back to where they ought to be. And then we're going to do a practice with our belts for the shoulders to open everything up. And then we will get to some really lovely other practices as well. Fantastic stuff. So we're on our feet. We're going to do this. We're actually going to go down to sitting and come back to the feet, doing a little up and down tonight. So with your belt, you want your belt to be about the width of your body apart so that your hands rest about to the sides of the width of your body. And we're going to take a little softness in the knees here so that we feel stable in the base. I might turn ever so slightly sideways so it's easier to see. We're going to begin by raising the belt up in front of us to wherever the arms naturally get to. So depending on your shoulders, you might have the arms slightly in front, or you might be able to get the arms all the way over, directly over the head. It doesn't matter. We're going to release the arms back down again. We're going to do a few of these with our breath. So breathing in to reach up, little firmness in the belly. Breathing out to bring the arms down. Don't grip the belt too hard. I'm just holding it between my thumb and the rest of my hand. Breathing in, reaching up, breathing out and down to the sides. Very good. And now we're going to try and go that little bit further. So now we've found our range of motion. We're going to breathe in, take the arms up. And then here, see if you can bring the shoulders down, shoulder blades down rather, and find a little bit more length to move your hands back. And where you meet resistance, don't press through that resistance, just widen your arms on your belt and allow your arms to come back a little bit further. If you meet resistance again, widen your grip on the belt and allow your arms to come back a little bit further. Try not to overarch here, so firm in the belly. And eventually your arms will come down behind the body, nice and slowly. So taking as much width of belt as you need to be able to do that without any strain, any force. When your arms come all the way down, I saw that, Morag. When your arms come all the way down, we're going to widen the grip one hand so that it's even wider at the bottom, and then very slowly, without any strain or pinching, take the arms all the way up and then all the way down in front of the body. Okay, very good. We'll bring the grip back towards each other, so the hands back towards each other to start again with this narrow either side of the body grip. And then we'll do this, we're going to do this 2 more times. So we're reaching the arms up to meet that point of resistance, which may have moved a little bit further back this time. Who knows? Doesn't have to have done, but maybe it will. When you meet that resistance, lengthen your grip on the belt. So widen your grip and reach the arms back as you draw the shoulders down. Maybe, shoulder blades down, that is. Maybe you've got a little bit more space, maybe you need a bit more room. Widen your grip on the belt. When you meet resistance, widen it a little bit more. Moving to meet that resistance, widen, and then very gently coming down behind the body. So we don't want to force or clunk or have one shoulder and then the other come down. You need quite a big belt for that. When you get to the bottom, just take a moment to find your natural spot, your neutral spot, and then widen your grip one more hand width. And you're going to take the arms back and up, should feel quite comfortable, and then over the front of the body and down in front. Very good. One more time, bringing the hands towards each other so that your grip is narrowed to the width of your body. A little soft in the knees, firm in the belly, reaching the arms up and just seeing where they naturally get to without any widening on the belt. When you meet that resistance, don't press through it, widen your grip and let the arms shoulder blades come down and the arms come behind the body. And if you need to, widen a bit more. And it might be that this time you don't need to widen it as much. Maybe you keep widening it. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Go slowly and end up with your arms behind you. And for those of you who really don't enjoy this practice, and it perhaps isn't for everyone, just going up and down in front of the body is fine too. When you get down, remember to widen your hands one more width on the belt, and then taking the arms back and up, feeling that openness across the chest as we reach the arms down in front of us. Awesome sauce. You can wrap the belt around your neck like a scarf and just take a few shoulder rolls here, maybe moving through the upper body a little. I quite like to take the fingertips towards the shoulders and make big, like forwards, what's it called, front crawl type of action here. So a little twist through the body, particularly the upper body as you go. Front crawl encourages us to move in a forward direction. So the chin is towards the chest. There's a little rounding through the upper back. And then we're going to reverse to do back crawl, or backwards. And we lift the chin. There's an openness in the front of the body, maybe a little firmness in those belly muscles, a little drawing together of the shoulder blades, perhaps. And then very gently releasing the arms down. We're going to come down to sitting. Lovely job. Sitting on the mat and sitting cross-legged with the right leg crossed in front of the left, adjusting clothing as needed. We might need our belts as well, so we're going to leave them close towards us, close by. So sitting nice and tall, finding that lift in the center of the body, allowing the hands to rest down. If crossed legs isn't comfortable, just separate your feet and let your feet move away from your buttocks ever so slightly. But sitting tall here, we can circle the chest around the base of the body. So we're creating almost like that barrel roll that we did earlier in the cat pose. And don't forget that your neck is part of your spine. So allow your neck to move as you move. Allow it to respond to the forward movement and the side and back movement of the body. And when you're ready, you can reverse and go in the opposite direction. Like a weebly wobbly. What were those things called? I can never remember. I had one when I was little, the ones that had the rounded bottoms that never stood up straight. But a bit like that. And you can rock, of course, across the hips here. And just feel a little bit of stirring of energy. That's what we're doing. When you're ready, you can come back to sitting upright. And perhaps you can feel that sensation of energy gathering and lifting up the spine. We're going to extend the right leg out to the right side, and the left foot is in front of us, bent in like this. Your right leg doesn't need to be straight. You can have it soft. You can support it with a rolled up blanket or a block as you choose. Try to sit tall. We're going to reach the arms nice and wide. Here, turning the back of the left hand forward, we're going to make figure of eights with our arms. So it might be quite familiar for some of you. Reaching the back of the left hand towards the right foot and then up. And as you reach up, you turn to the left, place the left hand down. We're going to lean slightly back onto that hand to make a big circle with the right arm as well. So we're not lifting the hips yet, but we'll get there. Turn the back of the left hand forward to sweep the left hand towards the right foot and up. As you twist, place that behind the body and reach the right arm in a big circle around the head as well. One more time like this. Back of the left hand, sweeping in a nice big circle. It turns the body. Let the left hand come down. Reach the right arm around the body. Come back to center. So we've done 3 sitting the hips down. We're going to do 3 lifting the hips up as well. So if you want to do this variation, you can. If you want a little bit more action into a half, sort of a baby wild thing, then you can as well. So arms are wide, turn the back of the left hand forward. We're going to sweep the back of the left hand just as we did before, reaching up and over, and then placing the left hand quite close to the left hip. Press into that hand, lift the hips off the floor, come onto the left shin, reach the right arm around the body, and let the hips return to the floor. Turn the back of the left hand, sweep it towards the right foot and up and over. Place that hand down, line your shoulder up over your hand as you reach the right arm around the body and down. One last time, and this time you can hold your baby wild thing if you like to. So as you take the left hand down, roll onto the left shin, reach the right arm over, feel the right foot supportive as well as the left leg, lift the body away from the floor. If you can, turn your chest open to the ceiling. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, sit all the way down. Gather your right leg in so that you're sitting in a cross-legged position. Take a moment to arrive back in the center. Very good. So after our lovely big stretching, we're going to try eagle pose with the arms. So reach the arms wide. We're going to take the right arm over the left arm to hug our shoulders. Get your fingertips as close towards each other around the shoulders or around the back of the body as you can. Let the arms be heavy onto the chest and take a couple of deep breaths here. Very good. So if you want to, you can leave the arms where they are. If you would prefer, you can lift the elbows a little bit, keep the upper arms towards each other and bring the palms of the hands or the back of the hands towards each other as well. It doesn't matter if the hands touch. You can, of course, use your belt between the hands if you would like to. Here, we're going to move the elbows up and down. So sitting tall, just gently give a lift as you look up, and then draw the elbows towards the navel as you look down. It doesn't need to be a big movement, but feeling how that affects sensation in the chest and the upper back. Let's do one more. Come back to center, release the hands to the tops of the shoulders, allow the arms to come all the way down the body, across the belly and open forward, palms facing forward before relaxing the arms down. Give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle if they need a bit of a wiggle. And then we're going to place the belt over the left shoulder. I think, yes, let's say left shoulder. Hold on. Over the right shoulder, let's say right shoulder. Yes. That feels better. Sorry about that, Maureen. Okay, we're going to take the back of the left hand and lift the left hand as high up to between the shoulder blades as possible. Now on this side, my shoulder doesn't like it so much, so I'm going to hold on to the belt here. And then with the right arm, make big circles around the head, just to open that space. Next time you reach up, bring your elbow back and bend from the elbow to bring the hands towards each other on your belt. Now, if anyone doesn't have a belt, you can always just hold the back of the head, release the head backwards into the hand. And here, with our Gormuch Asana arms, we're going to gently open that heart space, firm the belly just a touch, and make a couple more circles. We're going to do 3 in each direction. So a little circling whilst we keep this heart space really open in the front of the body. When you've done 3 in that direction, going 3 times in the opposite direction. A lovely combination of these movements. Coming back to the center, releasing the belt from the hands if you're holding the belt, reaching up with the right hand, floating it down to the side, and then sliding the left hand down the back of the body, just turning the palm forward, making any movements that feel good with your back and spine openness in general. We're going to lengthen the legs out in front of us And with the heels on the floor and the knees bent, just giving the knees a little bit of a rotation here. And the opposite way too. And you can do this with your arms as well if you'd like to, a little firmness in the center to be able to wave in your octopus. You can wave in any way that feels good to get the hips moving. And then we'll take a gentle up plank. So for anyone who doesn't like up plank, you can lie down on the floor, reach your arms over your head. That's perfectly fine. I can dispense with this belt. It can move here, back in front of the body. For anyone who's doing up plank, maybe fingertips pointing forwards or backwards. Out to the side is fine. It doesn't suit me. I don't practice that. So rolling the shoulder blades towards each other to open that chest space, pressing down into the feet, into the heels if you can, to lift the hips and look up, and then gently lower down. We'll do one more like that, pressing into the hands, lifting the hips up and gently down. Very good. Then we'll come back to sitting, but this time with the left leg in front of the right. Take a moment to find that center space. Observe the effects of your practice so far. When you're ready, you can begin circling the heart. And this time, if you'd like to, you can do a little bit more expressive movements, perhaps moving through the shoulders a little bit for more of a wriggle, using the head a little bit more to limber through the neck, or move through the neck. And of course, you don't have to make it more expressive, it's all good. You can stick with just general circling. One more in this direction. And then the opposite way as well. And just finding that wriggling, stretching like a pandiculation through the body. One more in this direction before coming back to the center. Adjusting clothing as needed, extending your left leg out to the left side, and we'll do our figure of 8 arms. So reaching the arms nice and wide as you sit tall, turning the back of the right hand forward, sweeping the right hand towards the left foot, and then up and over the head. Place the right hand down behind you, just lean away from the left leg to swing the left arm in a nice big circle. To upright, turn the back of the hand forward and sweep the right hand towards the left leg and up and over, lean away from the left leg to reach the left arm in a big circle. Back of the right hand turns forward, sweeping it towards the left foot up and over, slightly twisting in the upper body as you reach the left arm over in a circle. And now we do 3 with the hips off the floor if you wish to. Turn the right hand, sweep towards the left, up and over. Place the hand down close to your right, press into the hands, the shin and the foot of the left leg as you reach the left arm up and over. Settle the hips down. Take the back of the right hand to the left foot, up and over. Place the hand down. Create space between your body and the floor as you lift and reach the left arm over. Last one. This time you can hold your baby wild thing if you want to. Placing the right hand down, really lining the right shoulder up over that hand, pressing into the right shin, into the left foot, reaching the left arm over. See if you can turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Create that sensation of space underneath the body, support in the back of the body. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, gently relaxing the hips down, gathering the left leg in to sit in the center. Very good. Take a moment just to allow everything to calm. And after such an expansive, expressive pose, doing eagle arms here is a really nice way to create that same sensation of openness, but across the back of the body. So reaching the arms wide, crossing the left arm over the right arm this time, and hugging the shoulders as tight as feels comfortable, letting the arms settle their weight down towards the chest for a few deep breaths here. Feel that space between the shoulder blades, just broadening even in this variation of the posture. And that's why it's not necessary to do other more deep variations. But if you wish to, you can lift the elbows, keeping the upper arms towards each other, bring the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands towards each other. And here, we're gently going to explore what it feels like to lift the elbows up and to draw the elbows down and into the chest or in towards the navel. So lifting the elbows up and drawing the elbows down. There might be a sweet spot between these two that feels the right place for you, and it's only by exploring this range of movement that we find it. When you're ready, return to a more neutral spot. Release the hands down, let the hands come down the sides of the body, turning the palms open and relaxing the arms down. We're going to take now Gormuch Asana arms. So we've done eagle arms, we're going to do Gormuch Asana arms. We're going to take the belt over the left shoulder this time. And it's the right hand that will come behind the body. So the right hand coming as high up as possible. If you don't need the belt, I don't need the belt on this side. So if you don't need the belt, you don't need to use it, of course. And then with the left arm, we're making big circles. Just finding that space that we can move into. When you're ready, you can reach the left arm up, take the elbow back close to the head, bend from the elbow, bring the hands towards each other. If they meet, that's great. If they're on the belt, that's fine. And if you prefer, you can hold the back of your head. Here, have that sense of openness across the chest, but also under the arm that's lifted. And when you're ready, you can make 3 circles, circling the chest around the rest of the body. And then doing 3 in the opposite direction, just reversing when you're ready. Very good. Coming back to center, releasing the arms from the belt or from each other, reach the left arm up, turn the palm, float that hand down to the side, and then slide the back of the right hand down the back around the hip to turn forward as well. Make any movements that feel good with the shoulders here. So again, we can do a little bit of we can do a little bit of octopus here. So extending the legs, just as we did before, belts to one side, knees bent, heels on the floor, and just rolling the knees in circles or the ankles in circles that lets the knees roll in and out. If you wish to, firm in your center, you can use your arms as well to express in any way that feels good. Maybe rocking backwards and forwards through the torso. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Going the opposite way, if you've been going one way. If you've been alternating already, then that's fine. If you want to do one way and then the other, that's also good. Find something that works for you, just to release the hips. And then when you're ready, you can gather yourself back into a seated pose for another up plank. So up plank, again, if you want to, you can lie down and simply raise the arms over the head. So you're stretching as long as you're able to on the floor. But if you're happy, fingertips facing forward, or you can try fingertips facing backwards, gives a different feel across the chest. So we're just doing a couple of these. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other, firm the belly, point the toes down, take the feet towards the floor, lift the hips, and maybe look up, and then gently releasing down. One more time, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, pressing the feet into the floor, lifting the hips up, and gently releasing down. Very good. And then just release your wrists if you need to. We're going to come up into standing, so you can make your way in that general direction. We're going to need these belts as well. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So, coming up to standing, I hope that we've done everything we're supposed to do up to this point. It feels like I keep glancing at my little description. I tried to write everything down from this morning, but you know me, I always forget something. So we're going to do Natarajasana. This is the peak posture for our class. And Natarajasana is the Lord of the Dance pose, where you hold one foot behind you and you make a beautiful bow shape. It's often called a D-shaped bend, like the bridge pose, and also like the bow pose, which is done on the tummy. So in Natarajasana, we have that sense of opening the heart. It's a really nice posture. We're going to do it without the belt and with the belt, and a few different variations. See how you get on. If at any stage you feel like your back has had enough, feel free to rest or take a downward dog or a child's pose or a forward bend as we practice. So the first pose we're going to do is actually called Flying Angel, and it's our preparation pose, and it's a balance as well. You can do this near a wall or with the back of a chair if you would like to. We're going to start by stepping forward onto the left foot and transferring our weight to the left foot so that the toes of the right foot are behind us on the floor. So we haven't lifted anything away from the floor, but we've got most of our weight into that left foot. Here we want the buttock and thigh of the left foot engaged so that the hip doesn't fall to the left, but stays centered over the foot. Choose a point of focus ahead of you that is not moving. Raise your left arm up with the palm facing forward and take the right arm out to the right with the palm facing forward as well. And here what we're going to do is lift our energy into the fingertips, into the crown of the head, into the chest, and the back leg floats just a centimetre or two off the floor. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Feel the lift from the centre of the foot, through the pelvic floor, through the belly muscles, into the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then very gently float the arms to the side and step the feet together. Take a moment to observe the difference between the two sides of the body. And then we can practice to the opposite side. So here, stepping forward onto the right foot, transferring your weight into that right foot so the toes of the left foot are on the floor behind you, but most of your weight is in the front foot. Use the buttock and thigh to keep the hip in line over your ankle. Raise the left arm up, right arm up, palm facing forwards. The left arm out to the side, palm facing forwards. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And as you lift from the center of the foot to the crown of the head, the back foot can float off the floor. Firm in your belly, feeling that lift even in the pelvic floor. And taking a deep breath in and out. See if you can find a little softness in your face, maybe even across your shoulders. When you're ready, you can float your arms down to your side and step onto both feet. Very nicely done. Excellent work. Only Morag is live with me tonight, but excellent work, Morag. Well done. Okay, so Flying Angel pose is a lovely, lovely pose. You get the sense of openness and expanding in the chest. You still have to work that space behind the body, so it's strengthening for the back of the heart, and you get a lovely openness across the belly and this hip flexor of the back leg as well. And it's a balance, and it doesn't matter what you've done. If you take one of the things that should be on the floor away from the floor, doesn't matter what shape you make, it's still a balance. So if you don't like Natarajasana for any reason, if you don't enjoy the feeling of extended arch in the low back perhaps, then this is a great option. We're going to try, I've got this belt over my shoulder. We are eventually going to use the belt, but we're not going to use the belt just yet. So if you know you can't reach your foot, then you might want to use your belt for this variation. So we're going to come into it in exactly the same way as we just did, into Flying Angel first, and then from there into Natarajasana. And if you want to, you can practice with the wall ahead of you, so you can touch the wall instead of being wobbly if you feel that that would be useful. Okay, so here we're standing. We're going to step forward onto the left foot. The right toes are on the floor behind. Left arm palm facing forward over the head. Right arm palm facing forward out to the side. Feel that shoulder space, that space between at the back of the heart engaging. Feel the lift and the back leg floats up. Now here, using your point of focus, perhaps you can float that leg even further up. Perhaps you can bend at the knee and catch hold of the right foot with the right hand. Could be the ankle, could be the foot. If you wish to, you can lean slightly forward as you lift the right heel behind you. It's like extending the leg against the arm that produces this beautiful shape. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting in the belly, lifting in that top hand as well. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then very gently bringing the knees towards each other, releasing the foot down and releasing the left hand down as well, to stand back into Tadasana for a little rest. If you need to, for any reason, you can give yourself a wiggle. It's always good to wiggle anything that is required. At this point, if you need to take a forward bend, please do, but you can always leave it till the next side, and we'll do a forward bend together after that anyway. Excuse me. Okay, right. Let's do that one to the other side. Bear in mind that if you don't catch hold of your foot or your trousers or something, you can always use the belt. But we're going to use the belt for the third variation of this pose after this one. Okay, hands onto the hips, step forward with the right foot so that the left toes are on the floor behind you. Lift the right arm up, palm facing forward, left arm out to the side, palm facing forward. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Feel that lift. Use your point of focus. The left foot floats off the floor. Perhaps you can lift it a little bit more. Perhaps you can bend at the knee and catch hold of the left foot or ankle. And using your point of focus, perhaps you can open yourself into that deep curve bend by extending the leg against your arm. That's the leg behind you. And keeping the right arm lifted, keeping the space between the shoulder blades firm, the belly firm, breathing deeply. And also keeping a soft bend in softness in the standing leg knee. When you're ready, you can bring the knees back towards each other, float the feet to the floor, float the right arm down. Take a moment in your standing pose. We're going to do a forward bend. So if you've been wearing your belts like an accessory, as I have, allow it to rest to one side. Little softness in the knees here. I'm going to breathe in, take the arms up. And as you breathe out, fold forward from your hips, reach the arms out to the side. And like you're gathering space and drawing your body towards the floor. Knees really soft here, holding elbow to elbow if it's comfortable. And just doing a little pendulum sway with the upper body. Now, if pendulum swaying doesn't suit you, of course, you don't have to do that. You can stay more centered. Do perhaps a little gentle turn of the head or a nod of the head. Perhaps out through. And when you're ready, you can bend your knees deeply, tuck your chin to your chest, scoop your belly in, and press into the feet to round up to standing. If you feel dizzy, hands to the heart and simply take the chin forward. And if you prefer, you can reach all the way up as you inhale and bring the hands down as you exhale. Awesome sauce. I hope you're ready for our final Natarajasana variation. So this is the reason you've got a loop in your belt. So the fullest expression of Natarajasana actually has the hands holding the foot behind the head. And as you can see, that doesn't work for me anymore. There was a time in my 20s when I could do that, but not anymore. So I don't bemoan that at all. It's a wonderful transition and evolution of practice, but now I can do it with the belt instead. So We're going to stand on the left leg. The belt is going to be wrapped around the right ankle. So you can step your right foot through your lovely loop and be ready. Again, it really helps here to use a point of focus. But if you want to, this is the time to be close to the wall, because this pose is a little bit more demanding, and it's possible that to have a bit of a wobble and need the wall. I'm really hoping that this pose works for me now as well as it did earlier. Fingers crossed and all that. So we're going to use the belt by taking the arms over the head. It's why we've practiced all of this opening. And so we've got both hands on the belt and the elbows lifted. We're going to maybe step forward onto the left foot. So the right toes on the floor behind us, much like our flying angel pose, firm in the belly and the buttocks and firm in that standing leg. When you're ready, you can float the back leg off the floor and use the belt like a little crane to winch your foot up as high as feels comfortable, whilst keeping your elbows up and your hands behind your head. Keep your eyes on your point of focus, unlike me and when I wobbled, and then see if you can find a lovely resistance of the leg against the belt to find your Natarajasana pose. Little lift in the belly muscles, a little firmness between the shoulders. Breathe deeply. Use the wall for support if you need to. When you're ready to release, just loosen your grip on the belt and let the belt slide between your hands so you step onto both feet. Release the belt. It helps to loosen your grip, otherwise you end up with a little rope burn on the hands there. And then you can step out of the belt on this side, step into the belt on the other, just noting the different sides of the body, how it feels, and also how different it feels to practice in this way. So when we practice this variation of Natarajasana, we get that really beautiful opening of the front of the body, not just across the heart, but across the whole of the front of the body. And in yoga, that's why we appreciate a softness in our muscles. So we're not really looking for ripped abs and six packs and all of that kind of thing, because it closes down the space that we've got to work with. We want that softness and that ability to soften into a posture, to release and find length and space. Fortunately, because I do love chocolate, and so that's just the way it goes. So on our second side, belt wrapped around the left ankle, we're going to step forward onto the right foot, reach the arms up over the head, holding the belt in both hands, taking the left toe tips to the floor, finding your point of focus ahead, feeling firm and lifting. And when you're ready, you can use the belt like a winch to bring your heel up behind you, keeping the elbows back and the hands behind the head. Find your breath, find your strength, find your lift, find lightness on your standing leg. Maybe one more deep breath if you can. If not, like me, releasing the belt, letting it slide through your hands and step onto both feet. You have done really well. That was a fantastic effort from those at home, I'm sure practicing with the video, but definitely from more out at home and working with me. So we can dispense with the belts. We have done well. Put them to one side and feel free to explore this variation of Natarajasana as well yourself. We're going to bring ourselves down towards the mat and release our backs a little bit as we prepare for relaxation. So we're going to do also a little yin pose or restorative yoga pose. So get hold of your warmer clothing, and I've forgotten about blanket as usual, so I'm just going to nip to get one from the pile over here. So when you're ready, you can bring yourself down to the mat. Take your block, if you've got a block, and your bolster if you've got a bolster as well. So block, blanket, bolster. We're going to put them to one side and just come down onto the back of the body and bring the knees into the chest for a moment here. So a little bit like a reclining child's pose, you can hug your knees towards you and make any movements that feel good. So just hugging them in might be enough now, or you might like to roll the head from one side to the other, release the back of the neck a little. You might like to move the knees in circles, massaging out that space behind the body. And if you're circling, of course, going the opposite way as well. And if you find it better to release by twisting, you can let the feet come down to the floor nice and wide and just allow the knees to sway from one side to the other. You can do all of these, of course. We have time. And then we're going to build ourselves a little support, first for a cobra pose, and then for a reclining fish pose. So coming up to sitting to arrange your things as you need. So the first thing we're going to do with our bolsters is put them across the mat so that we can recline over them. Just evening mine out a little bit. So we want the bolsters to be underneath the arms so that the belly can nestle into the floor. The heart is resting against the bolster in front of you, and you can maybe place your chin down on the bolster as well. So if you feel that that's comfortable, you can take this pose. And if you need a bit more support, you can place something under your head as well, or under your chin as well, or lift your bolster a little. Relax your arms. And if you want to, you can actually take your arms either side of the edges of the bolster. So it becomes more like a Sphinx pose, but without any real effort in the arms. But if you're comfortable with the arms up and over, that's a nice way to soften some of the effort that we've made. So here you're looking for heaviness in the body. That sense of surrender and letting go, releasing effort in the muscles, releasing tension, softening. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. We're going to take about 5 long, deep breaths here. And if it's dreadfully uncomfortable for you, of course, just rest with your forehead on the back of your hands, lying flat on the floor. If you would like to, you can try a slightly different version of this posture. It's called the seal, and it's like the supported version of the cobra pose, or up dog perhaps. So for this, we would lift the body to roll the bolsters back towards us so that the bolster is now supporting, instead of the center of the chest, the front of the rib cage, and perhaps for young ladies underneath the boobs. So the rib cage is resting on the bolster. It's a little bit more bendy in the back, but the body isn't having to do anything to be here because you can just rest your weight onto your bolster. You can reach your hands a little bit further in front of you. And again, nestling the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor into the floor, giving a little shimmer and shake of the tailbone there. Here we need to find a comfortable position for our head because the head is not supported. So, or at least not supported by anything in addition. So here, just trying to find the perfect spot between looking all the way up and looking all the way down, where you feel that the head is naturally in alignment with the spine, and the head itself perhaps feels lighter on the neck than it does in either of the extremes. We won't hold this for quite as long because of the head being on the end of the spine. So maybe just taking 2 more deep breaths, if it feels comfortable, if not, releasing out, of course. Then when you're ready, you can come into a child's pose over the bolster. So coming back to hands and knees, we're just going to spin that bolster around, place the bolster between the knees. If you want it slightly, if you're longer in the body, you might need it slightly further ahead, but so that you can release the body over the bolster. And the head is also supported here. And just resting the arms onto the floor, wherever is good. If you like to, you can keep your head centered, perhaps using a block underneath the forehead so that you've got space for your nose. I mean, if you don't mind, you can just turn your head to one side. And we will hold here for 5 breaths as well. If you're very keen for absolute balance, you can turn your head halfway through. And feel that the center of the heart in the front of the body is supported by the bolster here too. The back of the heart can soften, as can the front in this supported posture. Relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Of course, you may like to stay here for a bit longer. I wish we had more time here. So if you don't want to do a supported fish pose, you can stay in child's pose absolutely over your bolster. It's a lovely, lovely finish to the class, as is supported fish pose. So for supported fish pose, a block underneath the end of your bolster. We're going to turn ourselves around so that we sit against the end of the bolster. We want that right up against the tailbone or the back of the hips, and then releasing the body down so that the head is supported. You can place the feet on the floor with the knees bent to begin with, and just allow your body to soften and release down here. Check that you're comfortable by giving yourself a wriggle if you need a wriggle. Here we've got the back of the heart supported, it can soften, and the front of the heart expanding so it can open. Releasing the arms down, palms turned upwards, and released to the point where the shoulders feel a little supported, but the sides of the body can mold their way around your bolster and drape towards the floor. Take a moment to see how this feels, and if you want to try it, you can extend your legs to be long and the feet just falling out to the side. But if that doesn't feel very good in the body, or if it feels like you're lacking support in the back of the body, just bending the knees and placing the feet. We're going to hold here for 10 deep breaths, so about 2 minutes. Don't need to count. I shall keep the time here. If you can, softening the features of the face, the tongue, the jaw, the eyes. Feel the weight of the body surrender down into the support. release as much effort as you can, holding in stillness and simply breathing deeply. After your next exhalation, just preparing to move. If your legs are extended, then taking the toes to point upwards, slide one foot in at a time. Feeling that support from the legs, just gently rolling to one side. We're looking for a graceful dismount, nice and slow and easy. When you come down, easing your block and bolster out of the way so that you can roll onto your back again and just find that neutral spine shape against the floor. Take a moment to allow your body to rebound. And when you're ready, you can prepare for relaxation proper. I recommend tonight the bolster underneath the backs of the legs and a blanket to keep you nice and cozy. So making any fidgetings that you need to get that to happen. I must admit it's going to take a bit at this end, but trying to keep contained that sense of stillness and openness and softness from our previous posture work. When you're ready, adopting the Shavasana or relaxation pose of your choice. If you feel that the space between your shoulder blades is not quite softening towards the mat, or the back of the neck feels a little tight, then wrap the arms over the body, let the weight of the arms drape towards the chest, and just lengthen gently the back of the neck. Maybe gently wave the nose from side to side. Your head won't turn far, it's not supposed to. Take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the heart center space soften down into the mat behind you. And then when you're ready, you can change your arms by taking them wide, crossing the opposite arm on top. Again, soft in the shoulders, heavy in the arms, gentle rocking of the head from side to side. Maybe a gentle lengthening of the back of the neck. And then when you're ready, releasing your arms out to the sides, and hopefully that has released some tension, maybe rolling your head now all the way from one side to the other. Whenever you're ready, coming back to the center, finding your sweet spot. Palms are turned upwards, feet are far apart. Body is held by the earth, maybe by the bolster underneath the backs of the legs, and you can surrender your weight down into the floor. Bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through the mouth. Repeat 2 more times. A deep breath in, letting go of your effort, relaxing your muscles. A deep breath in, letting go and surrendering down. Allow your breath to find quietness, a peaceful, gentle rhythm. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften, the space between the eyebrows spreading, the area around the eyes relaxing, the mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Move your awareness to the center of your heart. Imagine there a soft light. It could be green or pink or perhaps silvery, perhaps a combination of all three, iridescent in quality. This light is the energy of your love, your kindness, patience, and compassion. Pick someone or possibly something that you love and allow it to be bathed in this light from the center of your heart. Imagine this person or object surrounded by your love, surrounded by your tolerance, your acceptance, surrounded by your hope, your joy, your kindness, your compassion. Notice how you feel when you direct these energies of love towards something that you love. Now choose someone or something with which you have a conflict. Perhaps not your best friend. And hold this person or object in the light of your love. Surround them with understanding. Surround them without judgment, with acceptance, patience, tolerance. Surround them with kindness, generosity, sharing. Notice how it feels to direct these energies of love towards someone or something that perhaps you find difficult to love. Then move an image of yourself into the light of your heart chakra. Surround yourself with love, with acceptance, without judgment, with patience. Surround yourself without guilt, with forgiveness, with joy, compassion, with love. Notice how it feels to direct the energy of love towards yourself. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet. Wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your wrists and your ankles. In your own time, take a stretch through the whole body, stretching the arms and the legs, maybe stretching the face in a yawn. And then when you're ready, you can gather your knees into your chest. And as you do so, gather that energy of love back into your heart. Maybe even rest your hands across your heart. You can contain this energy in a locket or a box or a room or a cave in this center of your body so that you always have access to it, but it is contained. It isn't lost or wasted. When you're ready, you can make any movements with your spine that feel good, maybe rolling the knees in circles, maybe turning the head from side to side. And in your own time, find your way onto your side. When you're ready, come into any comfortable upright position, resting the hands over the heart. Take a moment to just give yourself a moment of thanks, a moment of gratitude for completing this practice of balancing and energizing the heart and the heart energy, and allowing that great joy that it brings to work with love. Make it a smile on your face. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Now, occasionally when we work with the heart center, of course, the emotions are released, our feelings and deeply held things can be released as well, with any chakra, but particularly with the heart. So if you find yourself sighing or giggling or irritated somewhat, that's not unusual. And it's also not unusual to have a tearful moment. If that happens, allow it to come, allow it to wash out of you and release away. And you will feel better afterwards. Until next week, I wish you lots and lots of love. Thank you for joining the practice. Namaste.